All right, gas goes up, no surprise. That interest in electric vehicles goes up, but nothing like what General Motors is announcing today. An aggressive push in that direction that could have GM all electric by the year 2035. Its president indicating now's the time. All right, we are with Mark Royce, the president of General Motors, kind enough to join us now on this big announcement. Mr. Royce, very good to have you.
Thank you, Neil. It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me today. It's a big, exciting day here.
It really is. You've moved it up by 9 months, I guess, to address this growing demand for electric vehicles to begin with. I'm sure helped by the run-up in gas prices. How much did that decide on moving this timetable forward?
Well, I'll tell you what, it wasn't this. We made this decision. You know, number one, we're doing things a lot faster in the company. We're moving the EV production forward, particularly on the Lyriq, which was about 9 months, as you mentioned. But the real reason was the first time we showed the car, people fell in love with it. In fact, it's the highest clinicking car that you know, from a customer standpoint, that General Motors has ever done in its history. So we saw that, we said, hey, we got a winner here. We know we got a winner, so we're going to move it faster. And we started really pouring the heat to the facility in Spring Hill, which we put $4.3 billion into the facility, $2 billion for the plant itself to make the car, and then $2.3 billion on the cell site, the Ultium cell site, right around the corner here. So this is going to be our biggest plant in North America. So this vehicle is, there's a lot of demand for it. So we're very excited.
I know your goal is to have at least 30 electric vehicles by 2025. You want to be all electric at 2035. I was thinking of your dad, who was in the position you're in a few decades ago. Do you think he could have ever envisioned GM going all electric in little more than a decade?
It's a great question. You know, I see my dad. He's getting up there a little bit, but I tell you, my dad is just, he can really see it happening. He just can't believe it. So he was, very much involved with the EV1 when we did it back then, and it's beautiful to be able to see him realize and see what we're doing here. He was also involved with Saturn, so he knows the plant I'm standing in very well, and I'm very fortunate, man, to be able to have him see this and understand what we're doing. So thank you for asking.
Well, you're placing very heavy bets on all of this, Mr. Royce, and I'm just reminded when you bought SoftBank's stake in Cruise, the self-driving unit, for a little more than $2 billion. I'm just wondering whether we're going to have competing, battery options for those who get EVs that are incompatible with, let's say what Tesla has or what Audi has. I mean, where is this going as far as where people go to charge a vehicle, like the many offerings of GMs?
Well, I think, Ultium, we're one of very few automakers that have done a dedicated platform and vertically integrated ourselves, Neil. So, this is a big advantage for us. We can do everything from a Hummer to an Equinox and everything in between, and even lower roof vehicles after that. But, we're going to have all the price points, we're going to have all the profiles, we're going to have all the segments we do today, and offer those at very competitive price points. And, I think that, again, the difference in Ultium and our differentiation is our own proprietary cell chemistry and manufacturing capabilities. So you see that going first into Lordstown in Ultium Plant 1. This is Ultium Plant 2, and Ultium Plant 3 will be up in Lansing, Michigan. So we're putting those plants in a very good vicinity around our plants of the vehicle itself, and we can do our own chemistry very quickly at our Warren Tech Center, where we actually make our cells, we validate them, we do something, back and forth very, very quickly, so we're very agile. And we've got some great partnerships like SES, which is moving towards, some really groundbreaking chemistries. We think we have that all in-house, so I think it gives us a big advantage, and it's really quite good.
Do you ever worry, though, that I know in the environment we're in, sir, where gas prices are soaring, if they come off this, post-Ukraine war high, there are other factors involved beyond the Ukraine war, I understand that the appetite for electric vehicles might wane a little bit, that whatever wind is at your back now might sort of calm down, and then you're caught, committing to an all-EV lineup when the demand might not match it?
Yeah, I think we do enough research and look at the industry here to know that, demand has spiked for EVs even before the war, which is a very important point. Now, is the war on gas prices an accelerant? Yeah, and maybe they coincide a little bit here, but in the long run here, the appetite and the desirability of EVs, if you've got a vehicle that looks as good as the Cadillac Lyriq here, it matters. And so our styling inside and out and our commitment to Cadillac and bringing it back to the standard of the world is important. And vehicles are cars, trucks, crossovers. They're still an expression of who you are, what you do in some cases, and your inner self. So they're very passionate purchases, second only to a house still. And I think those things are very important. And you look at that total picture and you look at what we're doing, we're not flipping a switch overnight either. So we'll continue making our internal combustion engines at the same time as we ramp up and change the company to electric vehicles. So we can be very agile in terms of the market as well.
It's a dumb question. I'm just curious, Mr. Royce, did you ever think of hedging your bets, maybe having hybrid vehicles or keeping a certain plurality of traditional gas-powered engines, just in case this hunch is wrong?
Yeah, that's a great question. We talked about this a lot because we've done hybrid vehicles. We've done lots of them actually, from trucks to cars to crossovers. But about 3 years ago, when we looked at this and we looked at the end game of greenhouse gas 0, 0, 0, that's zero congestion, zero crashes, and zero congestion. We looked at that mission and we said, we need to put every last dollar into integrating our chemistries, our cells, and going all in on EVs. And that's what we did. The hybrids, if you look at those, they haven't really sold very well, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 vehicles, different models. The hybrid piece of this, you're still carrying 2 propulsion systems. It's very expensive. It's not particularly efficient. And in a lot of cases, it's worse greenhouse gases than an internal combustion engine in some cases. So we said we're going to go all in. We're going to do zero emissions. We're going to do battery electric vehicles. We're going to spend that R&D on our integrating our cell chemistries and making these cell plants. And we're going to go all in on vehicles that we know people are going to love. So that's what we did, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Between you and CEO Mary Barra, you have pulled out, as of other major U.S. automakers, from Russia. Do you ever envision going back, maybe after the war's over, or is it contingent on Vladimir Putin no longer being in charge in Russia?
I can't speculate, on the war itself, but I've been in the industry long enough that, you never say never on anything, but, I can't see us, we're doing the right thing right now, and that's all I know. So I really can't speculate.
What about when it comes to China, ample operations and exposure there? I'm wondering if China, is sort of caught up in this whole Russian war situation or supports it. That's a far bigger market that you might have to give up on. Is that likely? How do you see that go?
I wouldn't put any percentages on that either, Neil, but I would say, we've got great business and great JV partners in China, and we've got strong brands. So, that's a good business for us. It remains a good business for us, and that's where we are today.
Finally, I know Mary Barra is meeting with the president later today, a part of the business roundtable. Separately, the president is meeting with oil industry executives. He's suspicious about the run-up in oil prices, on whether they have anything to do with that. Do you have any thoughts on that, whether they are, or whether they're getting unfairly maligned in all of this?
Well, it's hard for me. I watch you and other media outlets around that conversation, and I listen to it, but I don't have any more insights onto whether that is or isn't true. So, I'm waiting like you are to see what happens here at the White House. So we'll see.
All right, finally, sir, and you've been very patient. I mean, a lot of the popularity and the appeal of electric vehicles themselves, besides they're stunning to look at, as well as your newest model here, they're run by utilities. In other words, you're paying for it not as much because electricity is still cheaper than fossil fuel But natural gas, which powers a lot of utilities, that's been running up. In fact, at a far greater clip lately. Are you worried that the cost advantage you get with an EV could go away if that keeps happening?
Well, I think you know there's a current and there's a past view of how electricity is being generated, and then there's a future view. If you look at some of the truly sustainable power sources that a lot of the power companies and municipalities are putting in, and so you know you want them to move to that, obviously. But I would also say, if you think about the number of electric vehicles that will be plugged in to your home or business or wherever, which is really plugged into the grid, and you look at the amount of storage that each one of these electric vehicles actually has, and you look at the way power companies and consumers can trade that energy back and forth from a fully charged car back to the grid, or the grid to a fully charged car, or a fully charged car to their home, in the case of our Silverado, you can see that this energy is going to be traded. And you know, one of the tough things for energy companies is the amount of capital spent on storage for the grid. And so what these vehicles give those power companies, and a lot of them are working very closely with us, is the ability to have storage and not spend the capital for some of the peaks and spikes that you see you know, throughout the country in various different climates or weather conditions or use conditions or seasonality. And so, you know, working very closely, and people forget about that, but there will be a tremendous amount of storage in our vehicles that will be able to go back and forth with the grid. So I think that's a very positive thing. And if you look at the sustainable sources of electricity in the future that they're all converting these plants, these coal-fired plants to, I think it's a great future, and it looks like a great way to really take care of our planet and save this for our kids.
You're well on your way there. Mr. Royce, thank you very, very much. Mark Royce, the president of General Motors. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Neil.